Now, lest I get carried away, which you all know I never do. By the way, if I ever end up being your nominee, you're going to be praying for Kerry Nuanced before this is over. Because I ain't a very nuanced guy. And I'm a big supporter of John Kerry. Folks, just look at a few facts. These guys, in the name of protecting you, cut local aid to law enforcement and to firefighters by over $2 billion in the last 4 years. Over $2 billion. 4 years after 9/11, of the 30 largest cities in America, one, O-N-E, is capable of having interoperable communications with one another if, God forbid, another 9/11 or a hurricane, a natural disaster occurs. There's not any of the other 29 cities that the chief of police will be able to talk to the National Guard talk to the U.S. Army, the U.S. Army talk to the local police officer. It is criminal. And you know why that's the case? Because their priorities are fundamentally different than ours. They are a sham. They are a sham. Let me end by saying to you that I am so certain the American people are ready to take on our opportunities and problems. I think we Democrats underestimate how tough the American people are. They are not afraid, and they will do whatever it has to be done. Every single generation in the history of this country, in a moment of crisis, has stepped up to the ball. Not one has ever let its country down. Not one. Not one. And folks, there are answers. Let me give you one example. You want to keep the COPS program going. You want to fully fund the Firefighters Fund. You want to make 10 million doses of advanced radiation vaccine available, because we are going to have, mark my words, we are going to have somewhere in this country, we're going to have a bomb that is not a nuclear bomb, but a bomb that is a homemade radiation bomb. It's going to happen. Mark my words. We are virtually up. Of all the cargo containers that come ashore in the United States of America, only 2% are inspected. I'm the guy who on September the 10th, before the 11th, when the attacks took place, made a speech some of you have referenced to me today. I spoke at the National Press Club predicting 9/11. I laid out in stark detail, anybody who wants a copy of the speech, go on my website, uniteourstates.com, saying that this administration was focused on the exact wrong threat to America. It was not a threat based on an ICBM hurtling 13,000 miles through the stratosphere with a return address on it. It was someone coming across the border with a backpack and vials full of anthrax and or sarin gas. It was somebody going down in New York City on Monday morning. There'll be more people sitting in an aluminum tube, a rail car, underneath New York City in rush hour than 24/7 full 747s. There's no ventilation. There's no lighting. There's no escape. There are no police. There are no cameras. It's criminal. It's criminal. Look what we just did in the Senate. We tried to pass a bill. All of you who, I don't know where your water supply comes from, but if you have a reservoir, every reservoir in America, they have large storages of chlorine gas. The chlorine gas in most of the major cities in America stored in the reservoirs where they exploded would kill somewhere between 60 and 100,000 people in the dense area. We Democrats, and I've been pushing a bill for years, saying they should change from chlorine to a slightly more expensive substance that does the same thing, and guarantee, and the federal government pay for it. The Republicans defeated that amendment in committee. These guys are irresponsible. Now you ask yourself why. Do they not care about America like Betsy does and you do? Do they not care about it? They care about safety, but they care more about the tax cut for the wealthy. They care more about their priorities, which are different than ours, fundamentally different.